But they first have to get past Japan, who showed a bit of improvement as they scored a couple of good tries against Hong Kong. They went down though, 31-12. An improvement on the 57-0 shellacking they got in Seoul. Here they come. The North Korean neighbours. And it's going to take something special from Japan to beat the South Korean side, who are without a couple of their stars. Here is the Korean side, noticeably without Jang Song-min and Kim Sung-soo, who have been very influential in the first two legs, but they do have some firepower out wide with Jong Yon-sik. And in the Japanese side, still no one really standing out amongst this team of youngsters, university students.
And no Henry Grant from the second leg, who was lucky to get into the squad in the last moment with the Korean leg. Charlie Brown from Singapore just became the full-time referees development officer for the Singapore Rugby Union, the former Irish school teacher, back in July, making an immediate difference to referee development already.
He gets us underway then, this very important game in Pool A. It's wide open now. We just saw Hong Kong go down to Malaysia, and that's made it a little bit more interesting as Korea, with first chance on the ball, wildly flung out the back door. And here comes Andre Coquillard, the 6'5" of Korean beef, in the play for a second time. This is Chang Yon-hung, and he makes a bust down the middle. Gets caught by Nakano from behind. They're in the 22 now. Can they open this game with a 5-pointer? Lee Jae-bok, the 15's fullback. Kim Jong-min scored a couple of tries in their first game. Stretching the Japanese, and suddenly it opens like that as Han Jong-moon. Kim Hyun-soo, over underneath the post for the opening try. It's a good opening passage from Korea. Johnny Walters will be a little bit satisfied with that.
I was with most of them in the elevator yesterday. There wasn't a lot of room in that elevator in the Hotel Grant because, I consider myself a decent sort of former number 8 at 6'1", and 3 or 4 of these guys were bigger than me and taller, and that's one of them. Kim Hyung-soo, as it's converted by Lee Jae-bok. They're a good outfit. They've improved out of sight in this series as we see the replay. Just a shimmy and a step back inside Nakano, and too much power, too much pace. Kim Hyun-soo. They're impressive Korea. They were very much in that Korean series, weren't they? And they couldn't finish it off. They should have been in the final.
Well, they beat Hong Kong on day one. They're the only team to beat Hong Kong in Korea. But then they fell a bit in the Cup semi-final against Sri Lanka the next day. So they'll be looking to improve.
They seem to have a regular consistency about, don't they?
John Walters said they've never won the first game on day two. And that's the big bogey he's trying to get off his back for this tournament, the monkey off his back.
And that is why we see Sri Lanka ranked second in this series, and why we've seen Sri Lanka twice in the final. It's that consistency.
So Sri Lanka will have watched that earlier game, Hong Kong losing, because they're still in with a shot of taking out the series. If they could win the Cup, and Hong Kong don't manage to get better than fourth, if they come in fourth, they will potentially take this tournament out. Here come Korea. Here goes Jong, 2 tries earlier on today. There he goes again. He's too strong, the veteran. He may be in his 30s, but there's plenty of life in those old legs yet.
In his 30s, he looks like he's 18. He's that fit and good looking. He hasn't had any cosmetic surgery in Korea. We know that because he's a rugby guy and he's big, strong and fit. Look at that. He knows how to score tries. Jong Yon-sik, his 9th try this series. You need that old hand in a team to give you that stability, but easy to keep the calmness and keep the tenacity and intensity up. And that's what Korea have done better than they've ever done before in this year. as the conversions waved away. You would expect against this Japan team. Here it is again. Look at that. Evades one, pumps in the legs, knee high up. No Japan cover defence. He says cheekily, "Thank you very much." Impressive career.
Here we go, 12-0 then. Early buffer. Coquillard goes up like a salmon upstream and bats that one back very athletically and would injure a regular man, would be in hospital following a spectacular leap through the air like that. The Comerican played a bit of schoolboy rugby for the USA, under 17s, and played some rugby at California Berkeley University. He's got some pedigree.
That is impressive stats. I'm still getting over the salmon part.
Not so much a stat as an observation, that one. Here come Korea. Lee Jai Bok on the wraparound is Lee. Jong looking for number 2. Number 10 for the series. He bounces out of one. Suruta pulls him to the ground with his companions. And now there's a 3-on-2 if they can work it. Just some crisp passing will do the job. Coquillard's out there and the salmon is going over in the corner. This big piece of Korean beef was loitering out on the wing. From side to side he goes. He's a megastar over there in Korea.
He is a megastar. Look at the size of him. He's about 6'4" in the old scale. And he doesn't get too many tries. He's got his 5th one over the 3 legs here today. And they love him up there. There's a good following in the universities and the club scene. 5 professional teams in Korea, companies. But in the universities, there's a very strong competition. As Lee J. Bok sizes it up. There's a little bit of a jiggle. There's a 22, head down. And what a great conversion by him. So a good buffer. Look at this. It goes from one side of the field to the other. Big floating ball through the hands to Kim, to Han, to Kim Jong Ming. And the South African.
Lee Jai Bok gets us underway and they hold a 19-0 lead over Japan, who haven't fired a shot yet, but here they come. These young men from Japan got a couple of good tries against Hong Kong. They need some confidence. Here goes Chang Yong-hyung. Oh, and he gets a beautiful bounce, and the covering defender has no chance at stopping him. Scoots across next to the post, and just like that, a lucky bounce, but it came from some positive endeavour. And 4 quick tries in the first half. They're nailing it.
Chang, first try of the series, number 4. There he is walking back, and he should be happy with himself. He's still sucking them in. That was a class act. Beautiful vision. He took a chance. He got the bounce, but then he still had to step. And that was a very good try. The conversion by Lee J. Bok is successful. There's the try scorer. Look at that. Kicks ahead, follows it up, gets a bounce. He had to leap for it, and he got it right near the post. Is exactly where he wanted, despite the attentions of Kawashima.
We are heading towards some big games at the end of today. 26-0 Korea. They gave Japan a good thumping in the Korean League, as did everybody really, but I wasn't too sure how well they go with Kim Sung-soo and Jang Song-min out of the squad.
Japan are sitting on the table about 6th. There is a chance, a small chance, though, they could go into that relegation game tomorrow, potentially. Am I correct?
Yep, they're at 5th spot with 7 points for the series. They've still got Singapore, Malaysia, Chinese Taipei under them. But if they were to lose in the 7th and 8th playoff tomorrow, it would be possibly quite disastrous. They have the quite strange situation of being on the World Series but out of the Asian 7 Series.
It would be unique, but Singapore probably, unfortunately for them, the ones most likely at this point to be relegated. And then you've got an interesting scenario ground in the development 7 series, or we say in some ways Series 2. You've got UAE and Philippines. Kazakhstan, if they come back in, Singapore will find that very tough to get back in. Or this Japan team, as it currently stands, will find that also very tough to get back into that top 8. So who would have thought it that you would have the 4th place team on paper in the Rio Olympics in a bronze medal match in their own backyard of Japan finding themselves relegated? It's
bizarre. But we know what the plan is. We know what Japan's trying to do. There's no mistake. These young men are the next wave, the next hope. Japan dangerously thin on resources in the sevens game. And away we go again through Kim Nam-uk. Gets it up nice and high and easily won back this time. And here they come again. Here comes Jong looking for another one. This time he gives it away to number 8, Yu He-bum. And they've opened their account in the second half. Almost looks like men against boys out there. And wow, that's 5 tries to Korea. They're looking good.
Yu He-bum, there he is. He's hardly raised a sweat. He's got a nice little smile on his face. He gets a bit of hydration. Always important in hot climates, no matter where, actually. But Korea really stamping their authority on this. We'll see the replay after the conversion. Hits the upright. The kick by Kim Nam-uk. Here it is. The veteran, Jeong Yeon-sik. And he just makes it available, draws 2 defenders. And who was waiting there on the end was you. Thank you.
Up again, nice and high goes Kim, and that's another beauty. Kokolad can't quite get his big mitts on it this time, but Chang does. And here they come again, relentlessly. Japan just can't get their hands on the ball. Have not been in the Korean half with the ball. And it's hard to see any improvement from this Japanese side throughout the series. That's the sad thing for me, Justin, is that they've come here to be developed and we haven't seen much happening as Korea, through Onjae Kokolad, going for try number 6 as a string of Japanese defenders are sprawled on the ground.
What I like about what Waters is doing with this Korean team, Grant, is the backing up of the ball carrier. The support players improved out of sight. Equally, the pressure at the contact area, the structure, they're being very accurate at that breakdown at that contact area. Jokelard pointing, he's coming off. He's had earned his rest as Kim Yo-han comes on, number 2 for Korea. No, I beg your pardon, it's Park Hang-yui. But Kokolad, 2 tries for him. You can see here, they just work it very quickly. Kim Hyung-soo, he pops it up. Kokolad's there, backing up as always that he has done in this series on all 3 legs so far. And Korea way ahead, in control.
Once again, it's a cracking restart and Japan do manage to get it back this time. What can they build here? They're just lacking a playmaker, someone that can run things. And just as I say that, making a great clean break goes number 8, Masahiro Nakano. And just as I give them a bad rap, here they go 80 metres to get on the board finally, do Japan.
And that just evolved, to be fair to you. It evolved out of nothing. His first try for the series, Nakano. He hasn't stopped trying. He's definitely one for the future. And Japan finally get on the scoreboard. It's very late in the piece. They've got a lot of work to do. They're not going to get anywhere close. Here it is. You can see, just as we said, that Korea had 3 defenders at the ruck. Because they had 3 defenders at the ruck, there was no one on the pillow on either side, and he took his chance well.
They'll be just looking for things to build on out of this series, will Japan, and it's been rare moments like that, well, of individual brilliance. Here come Korea, they're hitting their straps now and just making easy meters through Park Hang-yul in 11, who's on and stretching the Japanese back to the other side now. Good spot tackle coming in from Goto. See the confidence from these Koreans now, just taking it on from any part of the park. And Dong-hoon with the blue headband on his head there, just making great easy meters forward there. Look at him go.
They've not only got the power and pace, but they're fit. That's the fittest I've ever seen this Korean team over the last few years. John Walters, the coach, they've really got them humming, as is, of course, his trainer.
Johnny Gillett, the S&C strength and conditioning coach, brought in by Walters to get this Korean team into shape. He spent 3 months doing that because the game plan had to be around an unfit side. And you can definitely see the results now. As Japan go to the front, trying to make a mess of that was Kim Jong-min, number 3, and it just pops out. Yoo-hae Bomb just comes screaming down this left-hand side, feeds it up to Kim Yo-han. Japanese scrambling back and doing well to stop this one. They've got nearly everyone behind the ball, but it's a lot of space to cover over there for Tsuruta, and he's not going to be able to do it on his own. Dong-hoon Han has come around for try number 7, and good work by all 7 players there.
There's Walters and co on the sideline, the Korean bench and coaching staff delighted with this performance. I always think a great indicator too off the field, Grant, the little things that make a difference. They were here nice and early by Thursday, along with the Hong Kong team in the hotel. I saw them have a meeting. I saw they went out for a stretch. Get here early, get settled, get the rest. All those little things add up.
And you can see it. There's a real cohesion amongst these players. Missing a couple of influential players. Kim Sung-soo especially, who was leading the try tally through the series, injured himself in Seoul. And there goes our new man on the field, Yoo-hae Bomb.
He looks a bit like John McEnroe, doesn't he?
Yeah, with the
except he's playing rugby sevens.
Here come Japan. There's not long left, and another clean break, just speeding through the gap goes Uchida. Brilliant ball inside to Hiroki Tsuboi as the hooter goes, and a consolation try for Japan. 2 more tries for them, but well and truly accounted for by South Korea. And we have an interesting game coming up later between Hong Kong and South Korea. The flag is up, the kick is over, so the game is over, and Johnny Walters will be quite happy with that.
Here's the final try, and you can see Tsuboi. Nice and easy, the pace. It pinched it between 2 Korean defenders. It slipped through there, unattached. Hiroki Tsuboi, and Japan have gone down to a very much improved South Korean team. They continue to impress everyone in this series. And they are victorious 45-14 over Japan.